And the pandemic focuses attention on the risks posed by China's control of critical supply chains for medicines needed to treat Americans. One America's John Hines speaks with Florida businessman David Wilcox, who says our national security is also at risk because China also controls rare earth minerals used in U.S. defense systems.
Is there a critical minerals crisis? And what do China and the COVID-19 virus have to do with it?
Well, there is a critical mineral crisis. We've had the President of the United States and this administration for the past few years hammering down on this issue where approximately 85% of critical minerals defined by the United States are controlled outside of our interests, primarily in China. And what that has led to is it's almost impossible for a green energy transformational process when you don't have access to tantalum, which is in a cell phone, neodymium, which makes magnets.
I assume these are rare earth metals. Is that what you're talking about? Is that what we call them?
That is correct. So the implications, if we don't have something like tantalum, if we don't have neodymium, so you kind of get your periodic table out, we're not actually able to bring manufacturing completely back to the United States. Because if you don't have one of these key components, you can't complete the process of the build. So if we want to be a world leader in electric vehicles, we want to be a world leader in green energy transformation, we have to have access to these minerals and metals. So that's something we're focused on at Evolution Metals Corp in bringing the supply chain back to the United States.
And can you articulate how and why the presence of the coronavirus, this coronavirus pandemic, has perhaps shown a spotlight on this paucity of access to rare earth minerals which are necessary for industry and defense for America?
Yeah, so that's completely right. The coronavirus has spotlighted a number of things when it comes to medicines, where we could actually be cut off from some very strategic medicines that we need in the United States. It shows the control that the Chinese have over so many industries that we're now exposed to that impact our day-to-day lives. It's very key that we get control of these, and the president and the administration have been very focused on issuing executive orders, issuing kind of notices and opinions out there of saying, guys, let's get control of this, because if we don't have control of it, we can't do so many other things that impact our day-to-day lives.
What was it that President Trump said recently that one of the things keeps him up at night is this issue of having outsourced our source of rare earth minerals? Didn't something like that, isn't that what he was talking about?
Absolutely. Like I said, John, he's been issuing executive orders around this. Neodymium is an absolute crisis. If you don't have these minerals and metals, you can't actually secure your aerospace and defense autonomy within the United States itself. We are completely dependent on rare earth minerals from China that we bring in. There's 100 weapon systems that are implicated in this critical mineral crisis that without these minerals that China controls, we can't actually facilitate the manufacturing of those weapon systems, which impacts our national security as a country as a whole. If you look into, neodymium, for instance, to make magnets, you're looking at the, guiding systems for aerospace and defense weapon systems. So if you actually look at how GPS systems work, how missile-guided systems work, if you don't have these minerals and metals that China has complete and total control over, you can't actually facilitate the manufacturing of those. So for something like the F-35, that plane cannot be fully manufactured without Chinese minerals and metals. So without that, how, if the Chinese cut us off, can we actually protect ourselves?
Thank you, Mr. David Wilcox.
Thank you, John.
President and CEO of Evolution Metals. Thank you for talking to us on One America News.
Thank you.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.